friends, it's Kelly for the Hip Kit Club. It's Cut File Tuesday. Thanks for joining me today. This is the layout for this process video, and I'm going to start by showing you the papers that I used out of the September Hip Kit, the main Hip Kit. If you don't recognize this collection, it's called The Best Day by Pink Fresh Studio, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love the colors and it's very versatile. As you will see, I made a fall layout. So I'm going to start by showing you a little bit of hand stitching. I did a chain stitch around this scalloped frame, which that cut file is free at my website. I just made it in the design studio because I wanted a nice frame around my layout. I'm going to include some links in the description box to more detailed hand stitching demos, but basically you go in a hole, under your previous stitch, and back through the hole you came from. Asked, how come the paper doesn't get all bent up when you're stitching? And I like to reinforce the back of the paper that I'm stitching, and I'll show that to you here. I used a 12 by 12 white cardstock, and I just trimmed it out to fit along this frame and taped it onto the back. So I'm using a brand new cut file by Kim Watson. It's called Fall. Obviously, there it is, all pierced, ready for stitching, and this is the stitching that I did last night. Same stitch, chain stitch through each letter in coordinating colored thread, and I use all 6 strands of this DMC floss. When you're pulling your strand of thread out of the skein, make sure you pull it from the long band so you don't end up with a big knot. So on to my background. I use the light molding paste, light being as in weight, and 3 colors of acrylic paint, and a stencil that's in our color kit this month. It's by Echo Park and it's called Christmas Branches. And so I'm just showing you there. I just use old Starbucks cards, cut them up as my palette knife. There's your recycle reuse tip for the day. They actually are free, and so that's great. And so this is the look that I'm going for, and let's get started and mix up our molding paste. I made some pencil marks on my background paper because I plan to go in a diagonal from top left to bottom right, and oh, stickers. So you'll recognize this. It's the cover off your silhouette cutting mat, and it's perfect for working with texture paste because you can just chuck it out after. And I replace my mats quite a lot, and so I have quite a few of these on hand, so don't throw them away. So I'm just adding some acrylic paint to my molding paste, and then I'll mix it up with my faux spatulas, also known as Starbucks cards. You just want to mix it really well until there are no streaks in it, and a light hand with the paint works great because you can always add more. If you make it darker than you want, then you have to add more texture paste, and that might lead to wasted product. So I applied my texture paste that's been colored randomly through the stencil until I'm happy with my background. And again, I'm going in a diagonal from top left to bottom right with a little bit of overhang on either side. I like when it actually overlaps. I like that look, so I didn't have to worry too much about that. Here, my camera didn't come on, and you can see my layouts bumped ahead a little bit. I added the stitched and backed cut file with foam tape to pop it up. And the other part of my title, In Love, so this is the title of my layout, Fall in Love. Both of those alphas are exclusive to the Hip Kit Club, both the navy and the mini alpha. So that's really cute. I like when you can mix up the fonts. So my photos are framed with a couple of the Pocket Life cards and one of the chipboard frames that is part of the Pink Fresh Studio collection that you receive in the kit this month. And I'm going to work on building up a flower cluster just above the cut file. And I've gone through the collection and picked out pink, yellow, blue, and green items. That's a puffy sticker and some leaves from the ephemera pack. And I only glue the one tip so that I can sort of fluff up the end of it and add a little more texture to the layout. And that little blue flower is again one of the puffy stickers. And So Happy is also from the Pink Fresh The Best Day collection. It's in the ephemera pack. So I'm just trying to decide where I need to put it before I stick it down really well. And I've decided to put it on top of my floral cluster. These skeleton leaves, and I call them that because I didn't paperback them, not even with vellum. I just left them open because I thought it would look nice if I could see through them and to the texture paste that I worked so hard on in the background. And so I've cut them from another cut file in our October cut file menu, which will be up on our website shortly. And it's called Leaves and Acorns. And of course, that's by Kim Watson. So I've placed a few of them around my layout, trimmed to fit, and tucked them in here and there just to add texture to my floral vignette and make it nice and full and pretty and full of texture. These little oak leaves, I punched them out with a punch in from my stash, and I just used them to reinforce the look of my layout going from top left to bottom right. They're falling in the same direction. So my accent color, if you will, is the verdant green that you see in a few leaves and the puffy sticker. And I add a few of the enamel dots in that color just around the layout to balance it out. It's not a color I focused on. It's just a pretty accent, and I really like that verdant green. So everything in the kit this month, including the Pink Fresh and the Hip Kit Club exclusives, it's just all so beautiful. It was hard to decide what to use and what to leave off. My style of scrapbooking is to have a lot of little things around my page, and so I don't really overload it with a lot of the ephemera, with the exception of a focused cluster like you see there on the page with all the flowers clustered above the cut file. There's a lot of really awesome cut files to pick from in the October menu, so watch for that coming up soon. Thanks so much for being here, and make sure you check out all the gorgeous inspirations from the rest of the team. And so I struggle with my sequins. I don't know why I was so staticky. The struggle is real. I had them clinging on to everything except my page. So I've cut that detail down quite a bit and sped it up. But basically I use my tacky glue, and I do have a pen that's supposed to pick them up and place them for me, but it wasn't working too good. So I finally got that all put together and moved on to another exclusive with the Hip Kit Club this month. And it's some transparent words, verses, and includes some doodly leaves. So I tucked a couple of those into my cluster, but then I actually took one away. I tend to be a little indecisive. I thought it looked a little too busy. But I do put a phrase down underneath my title, and I believe it said, "Oh my heart." And so that was perfect for that spot. So there you have it. My finished layout. Here's some close-ups coming up. We'll see you again soon. Have a great week.